at my investment. Look at my money. Baby, give me a spoon. Oh, Jehovah.
What happens when the fridge runs out of food, your credit card is declined at the grocery store, and the luxurious lifestyle you worked so hard for collapses overnight? Dami believed she knew. She believed poverty was her greatest dread. But standing in that store ashamed, she had no idea that her husband's secret would cut harder than any empty bank account could. Today, we're going into the Nollywood romance drama where love lives. And believe me, the twist at the end will make you wonder if love is ever truly blind. Welcome to the AFRI.NATION movie. Kindly share, like, and subscribe. The story begins with the grand relocation of Dami and Kenneth from the bustling Alaba market area to an ultra-luxury mansion in an elite Lagos estate. Kenneth, a boisterous and successful businessman who built his empire from zero, presents the house to Dami as a gift for the second wedding anniversary. While Dami is overjoyed, she immediately begins coaching Kenneth on how to tone down his loud, unrefined personality to fit into their sophisticated new environment. She emphasizes that they are in a new era where communication and fashion must be classy. Their entry into high society is met with immediate hostility. Mrs. Queen Deco, the self-appointed leader of the neighborhood's big three women, pays Dami an unannounced visit. Dami mocks all three of them as cleaners while telling them their way of greeting is very poor and purposely calls the three of them as Powerpuff Girls. Queen mocks Dami, labeling her as cleaners or wannabes. Dami, however, proves she isn't easily intimidated, firing back at Queen's arrogance with sharp wit and asserting her status as the new queen in town. At the end, Dami is invited to a resident meeting for which Dami proudly agrees. Soon, Dami reveals about this interaction to her husband, explaining him how carefully she handled the situation. Later on, Dami meets a neighbor named Greg while out for a run. He first tries to flirt on her without knowing of her marriage. Then after some talk, he claims to manage media relations for high-profile figures and is the nephew of a famous mogul. They begin jogging together and Dami finds him easy to talk to, though she hides this new friendship from Kenneth. Greg warns her about the estate's residents' meetings drama and says it is just a dumb meeting of mocking each other and showing off, which is only attended by women, not the men. Meanwhile, Kenneth's family, his brother and sister, visit his office and warn him about Dami. They claim a prophet told them she doesn't love him and is only after his wealth, planning to run away once she has enough. Kenneth defends his wife fiercely, telling them he has peace of mind and that their meddling is the reason he distanced himself from the family. At the end, his sister and brother leave his office after a quarrel. After this, he calls. Dami starts talking to her on home affairs. Dami schools him to socialize more instead of thinking these things. Dami decides to attend the estate residents' meeting to unsettle her rivals. During the session, Queen Deco attempts to nominate herself for estate president, assuming she will go unopposed. In a bold move that shocks the room, Dami arrives late, paying a $100 fine with a flourish, saying that it's very less, and nominates herself, promising to lead with kindness, respect, and love, also while introducing herself and her husband. Queen tries to disqualify her based on a 6-month residency rule. A lady reminds everyone about the vouching rule and the respected elder, Mrs. Adigok, vouches for Dami's integrity, allowing her to run and says Dami might be a good leader, while Dami praises her husband and says she won't let regret the person trusting her. The Queen, angry from unwanted challenge, warned Dami. After this, we see Dami and the elder lady talking to each other about the Queen and being understanding about their situation. The Queen gets in an argument with one of her friends here. The Queen decides to set a trap for Dami. Later, Dami and Kenneth are in a luxury restaurant where Kenneth acts embarrassed and does not like the food of the rich. At night, Dami chats with Greg while on bed with Kenneth, and in the morning they both meet again, where she thanks Greg for helping her. Here, we get an unexplained glimpse of Queen's life, which looks very devastating. Queen invites Dami and Kenneth to a formal dinner intended to humiliate Kenneth for his lack of etiquette. At the dinner, Dami and Kenneth are introduced to Queen's husband, and Kenneth struggles with the high-end cuisine and corporate jargon, leading to cringeworthy moments where he tries to explain initial capital in a very local way. Despite the embarrassment, Dami remains supportive of her lion. At the end, Kenneth and Dami leave after a call while the Queen and her husband laugh on them. Following the dinner, Dami meets with Greg at a club where they both chit-chat for a while and dance before leaving the club. After reaching back home, Kenneth asks Dami where she went. A massive argument ensues where Kenneth accuses her of infidelity. Dami tearfully apologizes, explaining she only wanted someone to vibe and promises to block Greg entirely. She does not have any vulgar relationship with him and she wanted to tell him everything from the beginning. In the morning, the story takes a dark turn when Kenneth returns home devastated, claiming his shipping containers caught fire at sea. He tells Dami they are completely broke, in debt, and his partner has disappeared. Kenneth cries non-stop as he's telling his wife everything. Over the following days, the luxury disappears. Kenneth sacks the staff, sells the Rolls-Royce and G-Wagon, and tells Dami they must move to a smaller house. Dami is paralyzed by the fear of returning to the poverty she worked so hard to escape. During this hardship, word spreads through the estate that they are broke. We see the Queen and a friend of hers calling Dami as Kim Kardashian and how she has gotten broke now. Here we see a friend of the Queen delivering money to Greg, hinting something vicious. Dami opens her fridge and finds nothing to eat there. She goes out to buy some groceries, but her card declines, so she puts everything back embarrassingly. At night, she and Kenneth talk about their downfall, and Dami asks Kenneth what do they have to do, on which Kenneth tries to ensure her that he is working on something. Desperate for money to help Kenneth, and after a lot of overthinking, Dami reaches out to Greg for a substantial loan that can help Kenneth build his business back. Greg reveals his true colors, saying she insulted him by ghosting, and he ends up offering her money only in exchange for a one-night stand. Dami is disgusted and says she trusted him as a friend and did not expect this behavior before leaving the place. Later, Imad, one of Queen's friends, confronts Dami and reveals that Greg is a serial predator who has been blackmailing her with a video for 3 years, extorting over $80,000. Imad admits she was the one who sent Kenneth the photo of Dami and Greg to keep her in check and warn her. Dami then seeks advice from her mother, admitting she feels like a bad wife. For being scared of poverty, her mother guides her properly by telling her she should prove herself as a trustworthy wife, and she realizes that her love for Kenneth is more important than her status. Later, in a massive emotional gesture, Dami decides to sell her entire collection of luxury babies and 99 Birkin and Kelly bags, raising 110 million naira to help Kenneth restart his business. She tearfully tells him, "I love my husband more than Birkins," and vows to stay with him through the storm. She leaves the house to sell her stuff, leaving a letter behind for him soon. When she comes back, they both sit on the floor talking, explaining their love for each other and crying and embracing each other with such unimaginable love. Dami also apologizes for the tantrums and troubles she had caused her husband throughout their journey. Kenneth tells her he loves her a lot, and they both start living a normal life. As Dami cooks food for him, starts doing things she never did before. At the next estate meeting, Queen attempts to mock Dami for being a charity case and says that Kenneth is such a dumb fool to be married to Dami. Dami slaps the Queen and tells her that she can't talk to everyone however she likes after this. Dami delivers a powerful speech about sisterhood and unity, which wins over the residents. She tells them that women should be united for the troubles they are going through. Later that night, Kenneth and Dami discover Queen being physically abused by her husband, Tunji. Dami intervenes, threatening to expose Tunji's crimes. She tells him to stay calm and not pick his hand on the Queen ever again. She takes the Queen to a house where the women of the estate gather, and Queen finally breaks down, admitting her perfect life was a facade of abuse and control. Other women, including Ino, share their own hidden struggles revolving around her mother-in-law and their husband's mistress. Here, they also discover what Greg has been doing to their friend, so they all decide to teach him a lesson. Before moving forward, Dami gives her confession and the problems she caused to her husband. Later, Dami handles Greg by using Kenneth's smart glasses to record Greg's confession of blackmail. She confronts him, demanding he delete all tapes and return every dollar he stole from Imad. With the evidence in hand, she effectively neutralizes him and gets the rightful revenge for her friend Imad. As the couple of Dami and Kenneth prepares for a humbler life, Kenneth reveals the ultimate shocker. The business collapse was a staged test. Influenced by his brothers and the prophet, he wanted to see if Dami would stay, if he lost everything he wanted, to check her loyalty. The fire at sea was a delay and the office sale was because the environment was too dry for his personality. He wanted to build another office. Dami is furious at the deception, but is relieved that her husband isn't struggling financially and his mental stress won't be there anymore. The movie ends with Kenneth restoring a luxury lifestyle tenfold, buying her new designer bags. Queen Deco finds independence, the women of the estate become a supportive community, and Dami is crowned the crown of love and light.